I would give her the visa application and let her do the VIP meet and greet and the $1,500 private dinner. And then anybody that paid $1,500 for a private dinner or $295 for a meet and greet has to go with her. Hi, shout out to all of our new subscribers and all of our members here on the channel. My name is Reese Waters, and I'm troubled. Here I am minding my own business, basking in the afterglow of Michelle Obama's masterclass this weekend.
So let me tell you something. They could not care less about your apathy. In fact, they welcome it. They welcome it. They are happy to be in full control of this game. That's why every single person who has real power in this world, they are fully engaged in the political process. Every CEO and billionaire and corporate board president, they follow the news obsessively. They hire lobbyists to fight for their interest. They donate to the candidates they seek to influence. You all hear me now? This is what I'm telling you. They donate on both sides of the aisle if it's in their interest. And you better believe that they vote in every single election because they know how critical elections are to maintaining and building their power base. And when we don't vote, they assume that not only do we not care, but that we are happy to hand our power over to them. Happy. And what a lot of non-voters don't understand about real power is that our absence doesn't make those in charge hear us any better. Instead, our absence is taken as our consent. They take our indifference as part of their mandate to do whatever they want. That has always been the truth of how this country runs. The process goes on with or without you.
And Donald Trump's disaster class at MSG.
I get back and they go, Sid, you want to speak at this MSG thing? I go, sure. Out of character for me to speak at a Nazi rally. I was just in Israel, but I took the gig.
When I get bombarded at my email, reese@reesewaters.com, with you guys hit me to this story, let's see. Australia rejects visa application by right-wing U.S. pundit Candace Owens. Wow, would you look at that? Australia? Australia? Not this Australia. You mean to tell me this Australia?
I say to multicultural communities in the campaign that I'm involved in around the country, I say to them, listen, where do you fit into Australia? It's a bit unclear. Are you with the mob from the UK? Are you kind of honorary settlers? Because some of you are the wrong colour, or you don't come from Northern Europe, you come from Africa, you come from Asia, you come from South America, you come from all over the joint, you come from China. I say to them, where do you fit in Australia?
Is rejecting somebody's visa application not this Australia?
Would you sell the house to an Asian? Not to an Asian who lives in another country, to an Australian who's of Asian background, no problems whatsoever. A Muslim? No.
You can't bring people into Australia who is not on the same level as what you are.
Just say, for example, someone you said, look, I'm a Muslim woman and I want to be in Pauline Hanson's party, would you allow them?
Well, I wouldn't sell my house to a Muslim. Why would I actually? So when it comes to politics, Carl, and besides, why do they want to get into politics unless they want to take it out? I said that years ago, Carl, 5.5 years ago, because I don't believe.
Yeah.
So I haven't jumped on the bandwagon in the last 5 minutes like a lot of other people.
Oh, what on earth?
Senator Hanson,
I'm quite happy to remove this because this is not what should belong in this parliament. There's nothing racist about what I've said. I've never said one racist word in my life.
Now, under normal circumstances, I might say it's something nefarious going on here, but in this particular case, I would have to advocate on someone's behalf who denies any existence of any nefariousness when it comes to race.
White supremacy and white nationalism is not a problem that is harming Black America.
So, I'm not sure exactly what it is that you want me to do, but let's dig in. Immigration Minister Tony Burke says Owens, quote, has the capacity to incite discord in almost every direction ahead of a planned November speaking tour. Now, that seems pretty unobjectionable as far as I'm concerned. I believe there has been discord incited in almost every direction. I'm just glad that it's gone in opposite directions at this particular point in time. Leopards are definitely eating faces. You know what? Cue the music. That's what you call every direction. Australia has rejected far-right provocateur Candace Owens' visa application ahead of a planned national speaking tour, with the immigration minister Tony Burke saying she has the capacity to incite discord. The U.S. conservative influencer and podcast host, who has advanced conspiracy theories and anti-Semitic rhetoric, including minimizing medical experiments and concentration camps, will be blocked from coming to Australia after the federal government voiced alarm about her record. Quote, from downplaying the impact of the Holocaust with comments about Mengele through to claims that Muslims started slavery, Candace Owens has the capacity to incite discord in almost every direction, Burke said on Sunday. Now, it is really fascinating how these kinds of moves and roadblocks can be thrown up in Australia, but we act like nothing is the matter here. All of that is perfectly fine here, but it is a problem for her to go to Australia. I would also challenge that if not for the first of those, she probably would have been fine. If we're being honest, especially looking at Australia's history, if not for the, I get that the first draft went out and it probably only had the anti-Semitism, and you were like, well, this is gonna look bad because she said all of these other things and it wasn't ever a problem. So we need to beef this up a little bit. Let's go ahead and beef this up. Owens had scheduled a 5-date speaking tour of Australia in November with events in Sydney, Melbourne, Brisbane, Perth, and Adelaide. Tickets range from $95 for admission to $295 for a VIP meet and greet and $1,500 for a private dinner with a conservative media personality. Now, I would actually challenge you rejecting her visa application. I would give her the visa application and let her do the VIP meet and greet and the $1,500 private dinner. And then anybody that paid $1,500 for a private dinner or $295 for a meet and greet has to go with her. And then you reject her visa application and everybody else's. That I think if you wanted to make Australia a better society, then I would use it as a catch-all. You know what I mean? She can be valuable to you. She can let her work for you. Work smarter, not harder, Australia, because you rejecting her and forcing people to keep their $1,500 for the private dinner and $295 for the meet and greet. That's just going to radicalize them. That's not what you want. You wanted to identify them. She has courted controversy with incendiary claims about Jewish, transgender, and Muslim people. I mean, really, what do black people have to do to qualify for the incendiary claims? I mean, really, we were the OGs of her incendiary claims. You too scared to call her anti-black? We've been doing it for a decade.
Who came before Trump?
Right. It was Obama, and Obama did a lot to tear this country apart. I do not remember when I was growing up having all of these race issues, okay? I really don't remember it. And then suddenly towards the end of Obama, we started hearing all of this rhetoric drummed up. It became white versus black all over again. And I say all over again, I shouldn't even say that, because when I was alive, this was not an issue. It all became about race. And I really do think that they were laying down the groundwork for Hillary to run, because they had already pre-selected her to be the president of the United States. So they started using that awful name-calling rhetoric, which they fell short of.
What did Obama do that drove
backed up
this race
the police violence stuff? He backed up the myth of police. It's the myth of police brutality. I'm not done.
If they're wrong,
he added fire. He added gasoline to a fire that was simply untrue. The myth of police brutality as something that was a problem facing the myth of police brutality.
In July, she appeared to cast doubt on well-documented medical experiments on prisoners, calling such accounts completely absurd and bizarre propaganda. The U.S. Anti-Defamation League, which works to combat anti-Semitism, has accused Owens of coming to embrace and promote anti-Semitic tropes and anti-Israel rhetoric, noting comments where she called Judaism, I'm just gonna let that one flow there. LGBTQ and advocacy organization GLAAD has pointed to allegedly anti-trans comments from Owens, including calling the trans equality movement evil and satanic. She's also claimed white supremacy and white nationalism is not a problem that's harming Black America. Well, thank you. Too bad we had to wait till the 5th, 6th paragraph for any mention of her anti-Black. Now I'm upset. I mean, really, you handled this so poorly, Australia. You handled this so poorly. I mean, really, I want to get your back and I want to celebrate you rejecting her visa application. But first of all, you're not using it the way that you could have when it's people that apparently were paying $1,500 for a private dinner. And second of all, you buried her anti-Blackness in the 7th, 8th paragraph. I mean, this kind of release really dovetails with my preconceived notions of Australia. That's not to say that the expat Australians haven't shown me a good time. They definitely have. Shout out to Australian Americans. Y'all are solid. Owens' Australian tour had been opposed by some local Jewish groups, while the opposition Home Affairs spokesman James Patterson called her a dangerous anti-Semite and a conspiracy theorist during a Sky News interview. And that's, when you see Sky News, just put Fox in place of Sky. That's exactly what it is. Burke told 9 newspapers in August that he had asked his department for a brief on her visit and consulted the federal anti-Semitism envoy, Jillian Segal. 9 first reported on Sunday that Owens would not be allowed to enter Australia. Burke's office confirmed her visa had been denied. Guardian Australia contacted Owens' management and local tour promoters, but neither responded to requests, and Owens has not addressed the visa news on her social media accounts, which is weird because she definitely sees fit to address just about everything else on her social media accounts. I'll be waiting for that one. She did take quite a bit of time to address her ban from YouTube on her social media accounts. So if that is any indication, then we might have a couple of days. But while I'm on the topic, that is a second banning in just a short amount of time. When I set out to be a creator, I think one of the things I wanted to do was never be banned from a platform, but secondly, never be banned from a whole country. That would be, yeah. And I didn't want to be banned from a platform, and I did not want to be banned for a country. So 0 for 2 on that front for Candace Owens. That's tough. That is really tough. This is one of those where there's a part of me that really wants to come get my sisters back and call it oppression. And that part of me left long ago. I don't feel that way at all. Candace Owens Live, Australian and New Zealand tour event will appeal to audiences seeking alternative viewpoints and in-depth discussions on pressing political and social topics. I love that they self-described it as seeking alternative viewpoints. Not the truth, not accuracy, but alternative viewpoints. I feel like that needs to be the blurb that accompanies her wherever she goes. Not just the speaking tour event, alternative viewpoints. You know, the kind of person who says that she is no longer a convert to the Church of Science and a self-described conspiracy theorist. That one.
Just imagine being married to me. I mean, my poor husband, he rolls over. He's like, what are you reading? And I feel like a regular wife says something, I don't know, maybe a love series, Nora Roberts, sweeping her away. Me, on the other hand, he rolled over, he asked me, and I said, oh, I'm reading a flat earth theory. And it dawned into an entire conversation. He's like, why are you reading a flat earth theory? And I'm like, because somebody messaged me on Manect about it and they included some links and I'm just reading them. I don't know. I'm just an interested person. No matter what, if there's a bunch of people that believe something, I now want to know what it is that they believe. And of course, he pushed me on this and he was talking about the earth curvature and science. And I said to him, listen, I'm not a flat earther. I'm not a round earther. Actually, what I am is I am somebody who has left the cult of science. I have left the mega church of science.
A few moments later.
Good news, everybody. I'm back. That's obviously bad news for Kamala because I am right back in her closet digging through skeletons. You're not going to believe what we've come across. Somebody claims that Kamala had a previous marriage that she's hiding from the public. Why would you hide a previous marriage from the public? Yep.
Owens' provocative approach often sparks debate, making the event a must-see for those who enjoy candid conversations about controversial issues, the tour website states. That is a litany of things that were left out of that, objectionable things that we could all associate with Candace Owens. But what I can say is she has been extremely busy in the meantime. When she's not laser focused on LeBron James and demanding that he give some voice to his feelings on the Diddy matter, because apparently anybody black that's at all in the vicinity of Diddy have to speak out. And if it just so happens to be somebody that's spoken out and to advance progressive policies, then certainly I'm going to try and draw a line between the two of those however I can. And if it's a black face, ooh, we are 3 out of 3, aren't we? Oh, that is she is nothing if not creative in her anti-blackness. She will find it. She will find it. Of course, the only way she could be any more transparent is if she was laser focused on Kamala Harris and her ethnicity, or if she saw fit to platform Judge Joe Brown. After platforming Amber Rose. You know, the one that said Beyonce wants to be her. That one. Yeah. Whole lot of alternative viewpoints. Yes, very, very alternative.
That woman is the worst kind of sleaze you can ever think of. And I used to represent 40 years ago a whole chunk of pimps and hoes in Memphis. And I know a hoe when I see one. And when I see a hoe, I know she got a pimp. And I want to find out who the pimps are that we getting tricked out on the benefit of. Who are the pimps that this woman is working for?
But as for you, Candace, I myself have never been to Australia, so I have no idea what exactly it is that you're missing. I actually had no intention of going to Australia, but I am due a vacation because I didn't get a chance to leave for my birthday because I've been covering I've been covering the election with a laser focus. I didn't get a chance to celebrate my 200,000. I didn't get a chance to celebrate my anniversary. And me and my wife were just discussing where exactly it is that we should go. Australia it is. Thank you guys so much for watching the video, and shout out to all of our new subscribers and our members here on the channel. As many of you guys know, we in fact have merch, and we're always coming up with new ideas and different things that you guys would want to see. Well, we are about in time for Thanksgiving and the holidays, and I want to know, what is it that you guys would like to have for the holidays? What is the kind of thing that you would either want to purchase for a loved one, or the kind of t-shirt that you would like to sport, especially if it's Thanksgiving dinner and they like red hats? Let those suggestions flow. Hit me at reese@reesewaters.com.